How's your day going? I hope you're doing well. I'm checking out this video that was recommended to me. It's from the YouTube channel Capturing Christianity. It says this prophet actually predicted Trump's assassination attempt 3 months ago. Interesting. I just thought I wanted to see it, give my thoughts because I've not seen it. I didn't even know about this. Let's go.
Would you believe me if I told you that the assassination attempt on President Trump's life was actually prophesied in great detail months ago? Back in March, this guy named Brandon Biggs actually prophesied in some detail the events that just transpired not even just 24 hours ago. Let's go ahead and pull up this clip from Brandon Biggs and hear what he's got to say here.
And I saw Trump rising up, and then I saw an attempt on his life. This bullet flew by his ear, and it came so close to his head that it busted his eardrum. And I saw he fell to his knees during this time frame, and he started worshiping the Lord. He got radically born again during this time frame. I'm talking, people say he's saved now, but he becomes really on fire for Jesus.
I don't know about getting on his knees to like worship, but yes, actually Trump did get on his knees. That's a surprising detail. It's like he doesn't say Trump fell. He describes perfectly the motion.
The Lord, he got radically born again during this time frame. I'm talking, people say he's saved now, but he busted his eardrum. And I saw he fell to his knees during this time frame, and he started worshiping the Lord. He got radically born again during this time frame. I'm talking, people say he's saved now, but he becomes really on fire for Jesus, for what I saw coming. And
okay, yeah, this is wild. This is wild stuff. And the reason why it's wild is because, well, first of all, he says that there's going to be some sort of assassination attempt. That by itself is not too crazy, okay? Because other people have basically said the same thing. Even Tucker Carlson predicted that there would be some sort of assassination attempt. So that's not the interesting part. The interesting part, though, is that he gets the details about the bullet correct. And so what he then says, after he says that there's going to be a bullet whizzing so close to his ear that it bursts his eardrum, usually with an eardrum bursting, there's blood coming out of the ear. That may be what he actually saw in his vision or dream, or however he experiences these prophecies. That's probably what he saw, was just blood coming out of the ear. But what actually happened is that the bullet went through his ear, through his earlobe, and then that's where the blood was coming from. And so it may not be that he was necessarily incorrect about this. The next thing that he says is that Trump is going to fall on his knees. Some people might actually interpret that as like just further confirmation that this prophecy is true, because that's exactly what happened after Trump was shot, is that he fell down on his knees, literally fell down on his knees. The Secret Service toppled on top of him trying to protect him. But what I would say in response to that is that he's actually using a Christian euphemism, or like a sort of evangelical euphemism. Getting on your knees means you're just like sort of devoting yourself to Christ. He's saying that Trump is going to become this really great Christian. Now that is going to take some time. Like we just don't know what's going to happen. It's only been 24 hours since the assassination attempt. So we just got to kind of wait and see, like, what is Trump going to do? I will say that we do have some evidence. This was posted on Truth Social from Donald Trump just this morning. So today is Sunday, is the time of this recording. And he says, "Thank you to everyone for your thoughts and prayers yesterday, as it was God alone who prevented the unthinkable from happening." So he's trying to sort of, recognize that God is working in this situation, and he's ultimately the reason why he's still here. So
if you think about it, it's a very interesting thing, because had the bullet just been a few centimeters like to his face, like to the right, he'd be gone by now.
He's kind of like, that's some evidence that he's becoming more religiously minded. And then he says, "We will fear not, but instead remain resilient in our faith and defiant in the face of wickedness." So there's some obviously religious terms going on here with faith and God alone preventing things from happening. I wouldn't personally take this as super strong evidence, because any good politician, any good Republican politician is going to know that your base is very religious. And so it just is smart to use this sort of religious language to kind of, get them riled up. So I wouldn't necessarily take that. There's other reasons why he might be using this sort of language. So I think we just got to kind of wait and see. Like, is he going to turn into this really on fire for God Christian? Now, but what this kind of brings up is the fact that a lot of people, it seems like Trump is kind of jumping on this bandwagon too, is that a lot of people think that God was involved or God was responsible for Trump's life being spared here. Oh. Actually, let me show you this other tweet that I've got.
I thought you meant that that God was involved in Trump getting assassinated.
Pinned here. Yeah, this flag got tangled today at the Trump rally before Trump came on the stage. It looks like an angel. So there was an angel that was protecting Trump, apparently, because this...
That's a bit of a reach, though. I get what they're trying to say, but that's kind of a reach, though.
There's a flag that got tangled and stuff. Yeah, I'm not really sure that I buy that. But here's another one. Okay, this one is a little bit more interesting. This shows the actual projection or the angle of the bullet and how Trump turns his head at the last second and basically saves his own life. But let's actually play this clip. This is nevertheless very interesting.
We see something that said, take a look at what happened. We see something.
Okay, it's going to slow it down. You see his head turn here.
What happened?
It turns, and then that's when the bullet misses him. And then you can see the sort of the angle, the line. I can actually use my cursor to show you guys. Yeah, here's the line. This is where the bullet would have traveled, which would have killed him, obviously. And then when he turns his head, it just went through his ear. So let's watch it at even slower speed. So he's talking. And then here's the head tilt.
Yeah.
Bam. And then the shot. And then it goes through his ear. Yeah, and he grabs his ear. And so, yeah, I mean, a lot of people are saying that this is...
Just a simple head turn. Wow. Just a simple head turn.
Very good evidence, that there's some sort of divine intervention going on here. Now, I've got some thoughts about this, and I'll share those in a second, but I do want to let you know that we're going to continue playing some clip of Brandon Biggs' prophecy, because if he's right about this stuff, we might be interested in what he says is coming next. But now let's turn back to this divine intervention question. I think the correct way to think about this, well, first of all, if we want to put the responsibility of saving Trump's life on God, equally, we've got to put the responsibility of the person who actually died in the audience on God as well. So God saved Trump, but then God killed this audience member. And that just seems off. Like there's something off about that. And I think what's off about that is that there's free will involved here. There's free will of the shooter of his own free will bought.
Yeah, I was about to say that. I don't think you should blame God for what man does with his own free will. God doesn't let things happen. It's that he has given man the free will to do whatever he wants. If you choose to do bad things, that's what free will is.
Gun, got up on this roof, aimed it, and started shooting. Okay, and that's ultimately who is to blame and who is responsible for what happened. So the bullet missing Trump is actually explained by the free will of the person shooting the gun. And it just so happens that Trump moved his head at the right time. Now, you still might say that God is ultimately behind everything and determines everything that happens, but then you're just going to get into this really deep theological debate about free will versus determinism and stuff, and that's not really the point of this video. But what I want to say is that there's other factors involved. It goes deeper than that, and so we just got to think deeper. So now let's turn to, as I say, we've got some more of this prophecy to play. If he is right about this first part of his prophecy, you might be interested in what he says about this next part. Let's watch.
Then I saw people interceding when I saw him winning the presidency through great. The Lord showed me it would go clear into the summer. Great persecution would come on him through the judges and through the law and all these people trying to sue him and all this stuff. But there would be a stop to it, and there things would start to break free come toward the fall. And then I saw him winning the election. Through the Patriots coming out and voting, and then.
Okay, so none of that is super crazy. I mean, everybody everyone is predicting that Trump is going to win, even in a landslide, especially with what happened recently. He's going to win in a landslide. All of the polling data apparently supports this as well. So this is not really a crazy prediction. I mean, keep in mind, though, that this was 3 months ago, and so things are a lot different now than they were back then. But that's his prediction, or that's his prophetic word or whatever. This is what he's saying is going to happen. Trump is going to be the next president. But then it gets even more interesting.
And then there will be a great economy crash. I saw they had a great economy plan, a crash, worse than the Great Depression. And the Lord warned me about this. It would be a great dark time. But I saw paddles coming upon America's soil like a shocking of the soil. And I saw Donald Trump praying in the office of the Oval Office, and he was weeping before the Lord with his hands on his head like this, but he was weeping. And there was ministers and people. I don't know if they were senators or Congress people or whatever. I just saw them pacing and back and forth inside of the White House. I'm sorry, what is the White House?
Oval
It's
Office.
the Oval Office. Yeah. And they were interceding all inside there, and I could feel the presence of the Lord so strong on this. And then I could see that darkness that was the heaviness upon America with the financial crisis of what I saw coming. It started to lift above the trees, and I saw the blue and the things coming back out, and the green times and the good times coming back again. But the Lord said it would be forth a time of a season of a shaking, and it would be a shaking to awaken. And in this, this would basically, that He was not done with America. There would be a great revival come, and it's not all doom and gloom. That's what He said.
Yeah, so he predicts kind of three things. So the first thing is the assassination attempt, and then he's going to win. Then there's going to be this really big economic crash, like worse than the Great Depression. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments.
It would be
economic.
It would be like super crazy if the economic part happens. If it's not luck to predict something like that in detail, the ear thing, and then him going down. That one can't be luck, but the rest of it is yet to be seen, and I'm curious to see how it plays out. Hey, this was an interesting video. I saw it being recommended to me by someone, so that I should do a reaction to it. I'll leave the link if you want to see it in the description. I'll see you in the next one.